Hooray! Hi my crafty friends, how are you? Happy Friday to you. Well, as you can see, I haven't sussed out yet how to not be able to see this, which is a bit of a nuisance, but hey ho, we'll just have to go with it. Please excuse my nails, they're a terrible mess. I've been working in the garden quite a bit of this week and I've got a big broken one there that I'm just trying to hang on to for as long as possible. So here we go, we're going to make a no-sew tutu today. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it, but it's not going to be finished sort of by the time we've finished the video, because it does take a couple of hours to make. But you can get started with me and then you will know exactly what to do, how to carry on. So this is one of the little ones that I did a little while ago. Now basically, I don't think it matters too much on the size that you make these. Because a lot of it will depend on what length a mum would like the child's tutu to be. Some like them really short and diddy, and others like them quite long down to their knees, and both look absolutely beautiful, so it really depends on you. And also I don't think it matters too much on the waist size, because I like to add a ribbon with a bow, and you can obviously cinch it in as tight as you would like it. So there you go, you haven't got too many worries there. But of course you need a rough idea on how long you would like to make it. Hi guys, I can see someone's joining me. Don't forget, if you're joining me, please say hi so I can come back and thank you afterwards. So what we're going to need is a piece of cardboard at the approximate length that you would like your tutu. So I'm going to do mine about this length, which I'm hoping is going to be longer than this. Yes, it is. So I'm going to do mine about this length, okay? And also I've got a decent pair of scissors. I've got one of these little crocheted headbands. Now I bought this online, but you can get them really cheap and cheerful in sort of places like Poundland and other cheap shops like that. Sometimes they might have a bow or something stuck to them. They're really, really easy to take off. Or if you're looking for a larger one for an adult, you can actually buy this by the meter also. And I've got some white ribbon. You can use whatever colour ribbon you like, really. Obviously, you can use whatever colour tool you like. This is the only tool that I've got a decent amount of. So, and I've got 2 of these left. Please, 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 if you're going to be making one of these for a child, be careful where you get it from. You want to make sure it's non-flammable. I used to make these in Spain, but I stopped making them purely because it was costing me so much to get them shipped over, because I wanted to make sure it was a really good tool. And anyway, I love making them, so I'm quite happy to order some more tool and carry on making. So here we go then. So the easiest way to cut your tool out is to roll it round your piece of card, right? So I'm going to start with this short bit first. And I'm just going to tip it over there. I hope you can see all right. By the way, Amazon packages are great to save for doing craft things like this. I'm going to wrap it round about 10 times. So that's 1. You don't have to be too careful, but you want to try and get your first little bit turned in if you can. I haven't, mine's already gone a bit skew. Bit skew width there. Two. Three. You're right once you get going. 4. 5. 6. 7, 8, oh, it's going to be almost exact, I think, 9, 10. take that up and over for 10, right? Now, it just so happened that when I wanted to cut this down a bit, and it meant that I've got a split at the side and a split at the top. You don't need that, but it's just going to make it easier to cut. So I'm going to cut through that. We go, put that odd bit to one side, and there I've got 10 pieces to start with. All right, so I'm going to start with those 10 pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on with this, and I will sort of like afterwards, and I will show you the finished product at some point. Right, now I find a really easy way to do this is to either put this crocheted headband over your knee, up onto your thigh, or to put it over a fairly full kitchen roll. So I will spare you my legs, and I'm going to do this. Now, if you want a really tiny one, of course you can make it smaller if you want to. You can cut it and sort of sew it or glue it to make it smaller. But as I said, I tend to use a ribbon to cinch it in, so it doesn't really matter too much. Now, the hardest bit for me sometimes is working out where to start, or basically the 3 holes. Okay, now each section will have 3 holes. Now I can really see it there. 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 holes. All right, let's go along here. 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 holes. So there should be the same here. 1, 2. Oh, see, that one's caught there. So I think I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to get my first one. Now this is for a really full tutu. I will use all 3 holes, right? So what I do is I pick up my piece and I fold it in half. Now try and do it as well as possible, but I mean you can trim it afterwards. All right, so and all I've done here is I've just gathered that up, okay, screwed it up into a little ball basically here. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to make that as small as I can. So I've got to find the hole again now, haven't I? Right, okay, where was I? 1, 2, 3, there we go. So what I'm going to do is from this top here, can you see there's a hole there? I'm going to push the tool in through there. That's a dog drinking. And then I'm going to push it out through the hole underneath. I hope you can see that all right. I'm going to pull it through just a little bit, making sure that these ends are as good as I can get them together. And then I'm just going to push that through there. And that's our first knot. Okay, so let's show you again with the next one, because basically that's all it is the whole way round. So I fold that in half. What I might do with this, because it's green and it's a bit Tinkerbell-ish, I might make it into points. Oh no, I should have done that at the beginning. No, never mind, I'll do another one with those another day. So again, I've done it in half. I've screwed it up at the top there. So the hole that I came out of, I'm going into, and then push it through a little bit, and then the hole underneath that. Oh, you can't see very well, can you? With all the tools sticking out. Pull it out a little bit. Find the hole if you've lost it, which I had. Try and make those as even as possible. And then the 2 ends there, you push through and pull it. Pull it fairly tight, but not too tight, because you don't want to misshape it. I mean, basically it does stretch quite a lot when you're using it, and that's why, one of the reasons why I like to use the ribbon as well. So here we go again, I've got my piece there, fold it in half, find that little bit there. I'm going to go in the hole, apart from I can't find the hole very well now. I don't think I went through the best hole at the beginning. Oh no, what am I going to do now? Right, I'm going to ignore that. Oh, hang on. There, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, I'm going to ignore that. I'll come back to that at some point. Right, this is like candid camera, right? This is a good one. Look, can you see those 3 holes? Let me make a 1, 2. Where's the other one gone? Oh, it's difficult. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Can you see those? That's where you want to be going. So let's do this again. So when I come round to the other end, I promise I'll sort that out. Okay, so I'm going in with that screwed up bit first of all into the top hole. It's coming out of the next hole underneath. Pull it through a bit. Find your hole. This is actually a lovely thing to do if you're sitting watching the telly, because it's quite relaxing. You don't have to be, you know, doing anything that's making a noise. Only when I do it, there tends to be bits of tulle all over the place. There you go. Tie that, get that out of the way. So I'm hoping you can see reasonably well as to what I'm doing. So fold it in half, squash up the top bit. So I'm going into that hole that I used before, out of the hole underneath, put it through a bit, even that up as much as possible, and pull it through. So we've got the 2 there, so let's carry on with the 3rd. Dog snoring in the background as per usual. So there's my little end. So here we go on hole number 3. So we're going through that hole there, and then out through the bottom of it. Find the hole. Make sure it's reasonably straight. Bless him. That's my old Storm. My old Stormy boy. There we go. So there's your row of 3. Okay, let me show you like that to see if it looks a little bit clearer. Okay, so let's carry on with that for a bit. Hope everyone's having a good day today. It's been raining again here. I wanted to get out in the garden. I did some gardening yesterday. Wanted to get out in the garden, but no, it's raining. So here we go. I'm going in that first hole there. So we've got our row of 3 again. See if you can see them. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going in the top one. Push it through a bit. Out through the second hole. As I said, it takes me probably a couple of hours to do one of these from start to finish. But as I said, it's quite nice to do if you're one of these people, you know, a bit like me, that if you sit watching the telly and you get itchy hands, not physically itchy hands, but you know what I mean, you feel that you need to be doing something. This is a really nice thing to be doing, especially if you've got little girls or granddaughters. So in the second hole, out through the hole underneath. Oh, here we go. Is it going to be dog barking time? I hope not. Yes, it is. Oh dear. You never know what starts it off, do you? All right, Kiko. All right. So here we go. Now we're going in that bottom hole. We come out of. Underneath. Try and get that as straight as possible. And pull it through. There we go. So you see where we're going with that now? Look, isn't it gorgeous already? All lovely and fluffy. Obviously, if you've got a tiny baby and you don't want it too full, you can just do 2 holes. Right, I'm going to do one more row and then I'm going to explain to you what, or I might just do 2 actually, otherwise I've got to cut some more. I'll just do these 2, but I will carry on with it this afternoon. So here we go. There's your little end. Find your next row. It's much easier, you know, once you get started and you've got something to sort of really be able to spread it out and look at it, it's much easier to be able to find where you need to go next. So under there. If you've got any questions about this, please feel free to message me or comment, and I'll try and help. As I say, the hardest bit for me out of the whole thing can be finding those holes. There we go. One, and the last one, I'll cut some more later. So it goes in the hole that I've just used, underneath the next one, pull it through, get your ends as straight as can be, pull it through there. Okay, so I hope that's fairly clear. Then what you do, so you've got, that's what it looks like. You have to fluff it up. There's a lady in town who's actually got one of my tutus for sale. I used to sell them in Marbella, actually. A lovely lady used to have them in her shop there. And the Marbella mums used to spend a fortune on them, especially white ones. They just wanted white ones. Maybe they were for weddings. I really don't know. What was I going to say? Gabbling on again, don't know what I'm talking about. Oh yes, that's it. The lady in the shop, every time I go in, I fluff it up because it's never fluffed up. So you just run your fingers through like underneath. You can't, because this is good tool, my tool, you can actually wash them. I have washed them and they dry absolutely brilliantly. Or of course, if you get like just a little mark where a child's dribbled something down them, then you can just sort of like spot clean it also. So, as they say in Peter Pan, silly moo. What was it, Blue Peter? So here's one I made earlier, right? Now when you get to the end, as you can see, it is really quite fluffy and puffy and absolutely beautiful. And that is when I use the ribbon, right? Now I'm going to undo this ribbon just to show you what I do. Now the easiest way to do this, I mean, you can do it with a safety pin, but I found these in town. I don't know if they're supposed to be for children. I don't know what they're for, but they're absolutely perfect for this. And what I do is I would go along the bottom. So I would start at the top. Hang on, let's have this one. What I'm going to do is I would start at the top, right? Oh, look, there's a bit of a flaw in there. I think that's why I got a bit confused with that first bit I was doing. Let's cut that off. Right, so say here, right, that's my first bit. I would start at the bottom and go in at the bottom. Oh, hang on, no. Start at the top and go in at the top. So you've got your ribbon coming out at the top. Then I would go down to the bottom, yeah, like that. And then I would go along. And it's really easy to do. It sounds really complicated, but just going in and out with the ribbon, in and out like that. You probably don't even have to go through every one, but I used to, or I do rather. Right, you go in and out all the way along to the other end. And then when you get to the other end, what I would do was you're still at the bottom, then you put it in at the bottom, come out at the top. So your ribbon is coming out at the top. Okay, can you see that? Your ribbon is coming out at the top, but it's sort of been gathering from the bottom. That sounds really complicated. I'm sorry if it does. And it probably doesn't really matter, but I've just found that's the way it sits the best. And then you can just tie it. This is a little bit short, this ribbon, for this one. I think I actually made this one whilst I was at a craft fair. And it was so quiet there. I made a tutu whilst I was sitting waiting. And there is your tutu. That needs burning with a lighter to stop it fraying. Obviously, if you want to, you can attach anything to this. The one in the shop that I've got is for a slightly older girl, and I've put diamantes along here, little crystals. As I said, with this one, what I've done before when I've done a green one, although it was a full length green one, was I cut it to a point and I put bells on. So it was like a little Tinkerbell. So yeah, it just makes it a little bit different. So I really hope that's helped a little bit. Not perfect, I know. I'm just getting used to doing craft things online. So you know what I'm like, as I've said before, I tend to sort of like do these things and make them up as I go along a little bit. But a tutu is a bit different because I knew what colour I wanted to use, and I will spend the afternoon watching the telly with my feet up, finishing this, and I will, providing I've got enough material here, I will take a photo of it later and post it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I really appreciate you. Don't forget, if you're watching it on YouTube as well, because I am putting these on YouTube now, if you'd like to subscribe and see everything that I'm doing, from makeup tutorials to what's going on in our garden, to where we've been, to little crafty things. If you fancy subscribing, that would be absolutely fantastic. Or just to give me a like or a love or a comment on Facebook. I'll be your Bezzy forever. Okay, have a great day, everybody, and I will catch up with you very soon. Lots of love. Bye. Oh, can't turn it off now.